guys, I want to say thank you so much for joining me on this journey on my vegan bikini prep as a mom. I am currently 2 weeks out, and 2 weeks just hit me so hard. My emotions came out so hard. I basically broke out and started crying like crazy. I forgot how much competing is such mental breakdown. I just started 2 weeks out. What? Okay, guys, I just finished 3 weeks out. I have nothing really new to say. Is that everything's the same, just a little switcheroo on my meal plan. Breakfast is no bananas, like I mentioned last week, but I got to add 1 tablespoon of peanut butter, and I'm doing 1/4 cup of oats instead of 1/3, and that's the reason because I want to save my carbs for something else, and because also I don't want to give up my chia flax and hemp seeds because of the great protein and macronutrients. So I added some zucchini noodles to give that volume. Since it's low calories and everything, and actually I forgot how much I miss it, and I love it. Snacks are the same, lunch is the same, dinner is the same. The only thing I did is I just took out the peanut sauce, but I've been using this awesome PB2 version of Justin's, and it has 0 sodium, and it's just pure peanuts, and I actually like it way better. So I've been making a peanut sauce with just like a tablespoon. Actually, I probably only need less, just a lot of water, and then just kind of drizzle for some flavor and some cayenne. And my snack is different. I just put 1/4 cup of TVP, some spinach, garlic, some seasonings, and yeah, it's super good. And also, I made this really awesome bread, protein bread out of vital wheat, and it is so good. Hey guys, alright, I just wanted to address you guys about my plan for my show and breastfeeding. So, am I still breastfeeding? The answer is yes. Currently, I am right now. And she is 14 months old. She will be almost 15 months by the time I do my show. But the goal is to slowly wean her out. And obviously it's a little hard because I do enjoy it in a weird way, because it definitely gives some connection and it's so cute, and there's moments I'm just like, oh, you're so sweet. But again, I am ready to let go because I've noticed she is sensing me trying to wean her off a little bit. I have been doing it less, been feeding her more. But she's been obsessive and very needy about it, and it's kind of funny when she'll just climb up the couch when she wants it. She'll like pull it out and go. So I already know that it means, all right, it's time. It's time to end it. My nose will. Somebody asked me if I'm gonna be breastfeeding during the show, or am I still breastfeeding? And I am, and the reason is too because I want that extra milk boobs for my show, because as you compete you tend to lose your boobs. And yes, my boobs are getting a little smaller, but surprisingly I still have tons of milk, and I want to have that fake implants look for my show. And a lot of times people think like, oh, you need implants to win. And no, you do not need implants to win, because I've won plenty of shows without any implants and I'm flat. All you have to do is just go to Target, buy a $5 water little pad, and then you just angle it like sideways so it pushes us in. So that's the trick for it. But I decided like, hey, since I got milk, might as well take advantage of it and pretend I have implants. So that's the reason too why I'm like still breastfeeding. Just doing a topic with implants. I do not ever plan on having implants, and I've always said in my life that I'll never have implants. I want to be natural. I just want to show my body who I am and just be me. I don't need some fake things. Later on, I'll be honest, once I started breastfeeding, I actually liked the idea of like, oh my god, I have boobs. This is so cool. But then later, and then I told myself like, oh, maybe I'll have implants afterwards, because I heard that your boobs just look like crap after breastfeeding. But listening to my friend's podcast and listening to people that have breast implant illness, it definitely is a great reminder of why I never wanted breast implants in the first place. And also, it makes me want to stick to my morals. And it's scary to think about you have a foreign object on top of your heart that's not healthy for you, has tons of chemicals, like it's worse than smoking. Pretty much it's like smoking. And so why do I want to put that into my body and ruin my health? And listen to some of the podcasts, look into breast implant illness, do some research. If you're a person that's thinking about doing implants or have implants, just take a consideration and really do some research about it, because it's scary and I never knew it was a real deal, and it affects so much illness, and I think this could help prevent down the road. But moving forward, never want to get implants. But so now the plan is, with me rambling around, is on the day of the show and the night before the show, I definitely am not going to breastfeed, because we have a spray tan. As she's straddling around me, she'll ruin my tan, and it's going to be something that I can't risk. And she just has to get used to not having implants. And then the day before the show, I am planning to get my hair done, get my nails done. I have the check-ins. There's my Maui. And let her play with things. I love you. And have the check-ins. So of course I'm not going to be breastfeeding her that day. And then the day of the show, I'm definitely not going to be breastfeeding her. So I have to slowly kind of wean her out, which is going to be hard since she's so needy. And today is an example of how much she's been like crying about it and wants it. But it has been better, and obviously it's been less. I don't do it as much as I should. But one thing I have to create a habit is, before she goes to bed, I always breastfeed her. And then before my show, I am not going to breastfeed her. So I have to start doing that way of her not. She's so cute. Sorry, I get distracted. She's night before the show, she has to get used to not me breastfeeding her. So that week, the peak week, I am planning to not breastfeed her at all before we go to bed, so she's used to it already before it's time, right? And I always breastfeed her like during like after lunch. Sometimes basically breastfeeding is snacks. I probably breastfeed her like 2 to 3 times a day, right? Well, guys, that is pretty much what's going on, the plan. How it's gonna be, we shall see, and I'll update you guys when it's the time of the show. It'll be my last video. This has been such an awesome experience, and it reminds me why I love it. And at 2 weeks out, I definitely had an emotional breakdown, started crying, and it's definitely a huge mind fuck. And doing a show, if you've done shows before, you know it's an imbalance in the hormones, and your moods is all over the place. You're just like pregnant, having those mood swings. And I started crying out of the blue at the 2 week mark, and I think I've just been so hard on myself, and just thinking what I've done is not good enough, and I've been giving it all, and I've been pushing it my best of what I can do, trying to balance out the family lifestyle of having a kid, having a husband, and not being single. As you watch my past video on the bitch mode release, and just kind of understanding like it's such a selfish sport, I've been always trying to focus on putting my family first versus me, but still making sure I still commit to what I do. I wake up extra out early just so I could get my workout in before I start the day, and being a mom, or fitting in between my work and my whole sleeping schedule has just been thrown off. And later it just got to a point like I was starting to think like, not only I'm not giving it all my workouts or my meals, I've been starting to focus it on it's been taking over my personal life, making me feel like I'm not being a good mom, I'm not being a good wife, that I'm not doing enough around the house. And I know it's just a temporary thing, and it's just the way the show is, and I'm just so close to the show, and I've been working so hard, and my fear is just worry that me working so hard that I'm not gonna be able to complete the race, complete the finish line. And I've came so far, and I don't want to sabotage it this far. So I think my mind was just all over the place, and I was just upset. But I took a step back, went in my room, took a deep breath, took some CBD oil. I used my soul, and just kind of like took a deep couple breaths, kind of recharged, restart my morning, and just pretend it never happened. And it ended up being the best day ever, and just went for a family ride, then went to the gym, and later on I just realized I have to focus on the small wins and not focus the big wins. I have to focus day by day, little by little, every minute by the minute, and just focus the small wins and not just the big picture, and not focus the negatives. And we are so caught up on focusing the negatives instead of the positives that it changes our mood around. And once I made that switch in my head of like small wins, it just turned like the best day ever. It's like focusing on the main things, that's the importance, the priority, the family, and just enjoying those moments. So what is next after this show? After the show, I decided that I am not going to compete anymore. I mean, things could change, but I was going to originally do a show in November, but then I realized that the show cost is just very expensive. Priorities has changed. When I was younger and doing competitions, I really wanted to be an IFBB pro. My goal was to just qualify for nationals and compete and get my pro card. But my vision has changed, and I realized it's not gonna get me out of it. And just having that title doesn't really mean anything. I know a lot of people that have the title, and they're just the same people. There's nothing different. They're not making mad money or anything like that. So I feel like, what's the point of doing another show? It's just for the looking good, feeling good. Maybe in the future I may want to do it again, but right now I've realized it's not my priority, and I would rather save that money to something else, maybe invest more in my business. It definitely has changed my mental aspect and stuff. It made me stronger. It made me realize how to give myself self-control, my priorities. It made me realize I could totally do it. And I've always, and the reason I'm doing this show in the first place is because I've always wanted to do a show as a master's when I turned 35. I've always wanted to do it, and I've always wanted to do it after I had a baby. Because my first show, when I met moms looking amazing, they made me realize that you could have a good body by being a mom. So I've always told myself, like, when I have a kid, I'm going to compete. And I wanted to prove myself that it's possible, and I wanted to prove others that if other moms could do it, I want to show that I could do it too. So I want to prove others and inspire other moms that it is possible to get your body back. No, you don't have to do a show to get your body back. Everyone has their own priorities. Everyone has their own commitments of what works. I know that for me, in order to truly commit to something, is I have to spend money that I don't have, get my body in shape. But I love doing competitions in the first place because it's more mental, and it's definitely made me stronger mentally on my vision and goals. And I felt like this was like a great way to restart, recharge everything, great way to control priorities. But this also has taught me in a whole new world of what it's like competing with a family. And I give so much props for all the moms out there that competes, because it is hard work, dedication. It is a total new world than being single. There are certain limits, and you have to do, and sleep is one of them too. Like, I used to just wake up so early and just be like, oh, whatever, I'm just gonna just work out. But there are days I tell myself, like, I just need sleep, because I felt like it's very important for my health and my happiness, and me being a mom and being a mom and a wife, that I need to function with sleep. And I have been waking up early at 5 a.m. and I have been going to the gym way early and dedicating myself. But for doing something like every day, or doing it. So what's next after this show? My goal is just to go reverse, not bounce back, slowly get back into it, keep maintaining where I'm at. Right now, I like the way I'm looking, and this is the healthy stage of looking for a show. Once we get to peak week, obviously that is not sustainable, and that's when something I have to remind myself is that peak week is not a realistic way to look for a daily life, and that's something I have to be prepared for. And one thing with competing, it does kind of affects you with your body image just a little bit, your food, your thoughts on food. But one thing I know I was doing right this time around is not being so driven on can't, but learning how to make smart decisions, learning how to swap certain things, how to make something, how to not deprive myself from certain foods. If I wanted something, I could create a healthy version. And this was a lot of fun experimenting, how to make fun cookies, how to make fun healthy protein waffles and ice cream, and just still enjoying what I enjoy, but in like a non-guilty way. So that is my conclusion of this week, and next time it will be post show, and I guess I'll let you know how that goes. All right, guys.